same as the Sword and Shield Warrior, which I am making next. And that will include the tactics for your companions, and I will also tell you what you should probably switch on your companions as opposed to your other thing. Okay, we're going to load up my save again, and this time we're going to show you the Sword and Board Warrior with Berserk. I will be doing a guide in general with all these builds combined. I'll do a guide for each different build. That means burst builds, area of effect specialty, both Berserker builds that I like to play that are getting really, really popular with other players since that one dude made a guide about them. I was actually playing Berserk way before that.
So many things to admire.
Okay, so we're going to do the same thing we did last time, obviously. We're going to chug our potion down. You'd be surprised how close the stats really are. You pretty much should build your two-hander the same way you build a one-hand in Sword and Board. You don't want cunning and stuff like that. You're not basing your character on defense. Okay, first things first, we're going to buff strength again to at least 30. And you can actually buff this a little bit more because you have the shield now. You have that shield, you have that extra armor, that extra defense. You have all that, and it is worth... you can buff a little more strength and drop a little bit on Constitution. Willpower about the same, 18 or 19. I'm going to go with 18 on this character because you don't have a lot of activated abilities, of course. And like I said, you can bring Constitution down to maybe 24. Willpower to 18, and then just top off your... Oops, shit. I'll get it, don't worry. Moving too fast. And top this off at about 32, I want to say. That's fine. Now your spread should be 60-40, strength to Constitution from here out, and you can buff willpower once in a while. You don't really need that much in willpower. Okay, first things first. Let's take a look at what you guys need to get your best skills. Assault is... Assault is definitely one of your best abilities for to use in general. I've been using this all through Act 1, and it kills bosses really, really fast. Especially if you have your Barrage and Haste on. The ability pretty much comes off instantly. But let's get on with this. Okay. First thing you should take is shield defense. This will help you tank in general. Next up, I would go to the Vanguard tree. And of course get the two Might and Control to activate Cleave. At this point, you can go straight for Perception, so you're immune to getting hit in the back. This will help you tank way better. Just help you tank in general. You won't take critical hits from behind, things like that. They won't get a damage bonus. This is a good option. Next up, you got to remember you are playing a tank character, so taunt is the must. Obviously, we already have cleave. Level 7, you want to get Berserk Mastery. And of course, Berserk. You also want to get Destroyer, if I can find it. Okay. Now you've unlocked all this. Obviously, Claymore is very important, but we'll get to that in a minute. I want to do it by level. So by now we're level, what level are we? 7? We're level 8. We're level 8 right now, okay? This is level 8 build. Next up is our level 9 skill. We're going to get Barrage. Where's it at? Okay. We have to get Adrenaline if we want to boost any of our other skills up. So we're going to get Adrenaline at level 10. Bam. And by now you should have one of the tomes. The physical tome. Use that to get Claymore. Bam. Okay, so we have how many abilities left? We have 3 abilities left, and we're going to be level 13 at this point. Level 11, we're going to get Endless Berserk, our main damage dealer. Level 12, right? We're 12 now. We're going to get Unrelenting Barrage. And level 13, our last point should go into Savage Berserk. Now this build's a lot different, as you can see. It's not very critical based, but it is more tank based. So that's our ending stats. That looks good. Our abilities should have this. Should be at level 13 with both physical tomes. This should be right at the start of Act 2. It should look just like this. Unrelenting Barrage. Now you are going to have your companions a little different for the Sword and Shield player, because you really won't be staggering as much as the two-handed warrior, but you will be staggering in general. Don't worry about it. You will not have any activated abilities right yet. You will have Taunt. That's your activated ability to keep everyone on you. The point is to, as soon as you hit 14, we're going to get, guess what? We're going to get Blood Frenzy. Taunt is to keep people hitting you so you can increase your damage with Blood Frenzy. Works simple as that. Okay, so that's what our abilities should be. Let's take a look at one more time for level 13. Shield Defense is for tanking bosses and hard enemies, so help you stay alive. Perception is immune to flanking. We're not getting anything in the two-hand abilities. The typical, what I like to call top 5 in Vanguard. Gotta have Claymore, by far overpowered ability. We're getting 1 in Taunt to keep enemies on you. You are now the tank, but you're not a defensive tank. Next up is the Berserks. Berserk is your main tree. Barrage, obviously. Adrenaline. You will be getting Deathblow later on, not now yet. But that's what it looks like at level 13, straight into Act 2, right at the beginning. Untouched. Let's take a look at our equipment now. The equipment you want is basically your standard... Oh, shit. I forgot. I didn't drink this yet. So we got one more ability coming to us. Why not? Alright. You can choose to use this now or wait. It really doesn't matter. Oh, you just have to switch some stuff around later on. I would go with Massacre. Yeah, Massacre. I like Massacre. I just like it. It's a cool ability. I wish there was a special animation for it, though, but there isn't. Alright, let's put some equipment on. There's kids present. Okay, so that's our Sword and Board Warrior for Act 2. We are using Maelstrom. This is bought off a vendor for about 2 gold in the first chapter. It's worth it. Especially if you manage to get like an attack speed boost ability or something like that. We are using the Superior Heavier Shield because it does give a bonus of 7% damage. Typical shit that you use as anyone. Now, you don't have to have the strength bonus from the war plates, but I like wearing the set bonus anyway, just because it matches. I will be wearing the full set. Your character should look exactly like this. Unless it's a guy, then obviously it's not gonna look exactly like this. You do have a good... You can switch this out for this if you want a little bit more defense and a little more top-end damage, but I actually like the attack bonuses. A lot of stuff can be obviously switched out. Like you could switch out for this. There's plenty of stuff. Just you don't have to have physical damage boosts. It really doesn't matter at this point. Next up, we're going to do Anders. Like I said, I did not respect these guys from the beginning of the game, so they're going to be the exact basic character they were when they began. Okay, first up is Anders. We're not going to go through what we need to prioritize on Anders anymore, because you should know by now. Anders is obviously the healer. He does not need to have a high magic. He doesn't deal damage. He does deal damage, but not enough to warrant a high magic score. We want him to have a lot of mana, though. Higher the mana, the better. And we're going to actually boost his magic up to about 28. I made a mistake there. And we'll put the rest in Constitution. So you want 28-inch magic, so we can use the next tier of staff. That would be the low-end staffs. The staffs you would find that aren't like unique staffs or named items. First thing we're going to get on Anders, again, for Act 2, his build is a little different, not very much different, is Mind Blast. That is just to keep him alive. Next up, we're going to go straight into the creation tree. Or you can actually give him more defense and give him Barrier. For number 4, we're going to give him Heal. Greater Heal. Heroic Aura, Valiant Aura. Haste. Improved Haste. So it should look like that. Depending on Act 2, I like to give him defense at Act 2. Enemies will start hitting harder now. Immediately give him the upgrade to Paralysis, because it lets you paralyze about 4 enemies, I think. 4 enemies paralyzed. This is extremely, extremely overpowered. Because it affects pretty much everyone. It has a nice, big 20-second duration. So, you know what I mean? It's pretty strong. You can kill a whole group of enemies without them even moving with Glyph of Paralysis like this. But like I said, it's personal preference. At level, what level are we? Okay, we're high up there. Next up, you can take Glyph of Repulsion, or you can start messing around in his Panacea tree. Panacea and like 8 allies, or Panacea and Regroup and 8 allies. But you can actually wait for that. He will develop as normal. If you don't like to have Glyph of Repulsion and Paralysis, you think that's overkill, put your points in this tree. Which I'm going to do. 8 of allies and regroup. Okay, Anders is done. Anders looks like this. We will settle on tactics as soon as we are done here.